Thank you. Wow. Thank you so much for allowing me to be here today. I'm David Ferrell. My brother Will was not available. So, good to be here. Clean comedy is awesome, isn't it? Clean comedy is fantastic. Doing a clean show opens up so many doors. In fact, I was recently asked to speak for an alcohol recovery group with the Salvation Army. Now, you guys all familiar with the Salvation Army? Salvation Army does a lot of good for communities all across this great country. But what is interesting about the Salvation Army is they have military titles for people within the organization. You know, I wasn't familiar with that. I show up and there's 3 guys in military uniforms. The guy that booked me, he's like, now I want to introduce you to everybody. This is Sergeant Smith, this is Lieutenant Little, and this is the guy in charge of the alcohol recovery program. This is Captain Morgan. And I'm like, you know, like, if you're trying to stop drinking alcohol and you have to refer to someone as Captain Morgan 10 times a day, your chances of relapse are pretty good. So I got a contract for a show, and on directions it just said I was working at the largest club in town. Now, if you're in a small town, I guess everybody knows where the largest club is. So I stop in a little convenience store on the outskirts of town, ask the lady behind the counter, where's the largest club in town? She's like, well, oh, you're working at Sam's. So I go driving back down the highway, and sure enough, there it is, Sam's Club. And it is a little deceiving. Underneath the sign, it said members only. So when I first started doing comedy, I didn't have any money, and I was so glad that McDonald's came out with dollar menu items. Isn't that awesome? Doesn't matter how much money you don't have, you can eat for $1. Who's got a favorite dollar menu item? Anybody? Yell them out real quick. Sausage biscuit. That's right. Who else has one? Anybody? McChicken, McDouble, 32-ounce sweet tea you can get for $1 at McDonald's. I don't let them put ice in the cup. No, I just want 32 ounces of sweet tea. Ice is a waste of money. I get 32 ounces of sweet tea, I drink half of it. I go to a motel off the interstate, go to the ice bucket, fill it back up. I want 48 ounces of sweet tea. How many apple pies do we get for $1? Thank you. Do you know that 1 apple pie is 89 cents? 2 for $1. There was a lady in the drive-thru in front of me, and she is arguing with the lady inside the restaurant. I just want one, I just want one, I just want one. She's like, yeah, but it's 89 cents. I don't care, I just want one. I pull up, she's like, sir, can I help you? I said, yeah, I got 11 cents on the second apple pie. And I don't care where you live, you can't understand a word they say through this drive-thru window device. If the technology we have today, why can't we understand what they're saying? You drive around, you're like, yeah, I want to get 32-ounce sweet tea, no ice. I want to get 2 apple pies, a McChicken, a McDouble. Let me get a sausage biscuit. And then what do we hear? It's like a bunch of graduates from Charlie Brown's teacher's class. You tell them again. Yeah, what I said was I want to get a McDouble, a McChicken, a spicy McChicken. Let me get a sausage biscuit, a 32-ounce sweet tea with no ice, 2 apple pies. Yeah, that's what I said. Finally, we just want to know what the total for the order is. What's the total? I mean, we all do the same thing. You know, we pull out a 20, right? We know this is going to cover the whole order. I got sick and tired of this, and that's why now I keep this in the car with me. That's right. Yeah. Now I drive around, they're like, sir, I like right down, sir, can I take you on a pay? I recently got to do a speaking engagement for the #1 rated fast food company for customer service in the United States of America. Who knows who that is? Chick-fil-A. Everybody knows it's Chick-fil-A. Chick-fil-A, far and above, more courteous and kind than any other fast food restaurant that you will ever come in contact with. And they complete each phrase with 2 words, my pleasure. I try to see how many times I can get them to say my pleasure. Yeah, I go to the drive-thru, they're like, here's your food, sir, my pleasure. How about some extra napkins? Yes, my pleasure. Extra salt? Yes, my pleasure. Extra ketchup? Yes, my pleasure. Extra straws? Yes, my pleasure, my pleasure, my pleasure, my pleasure. What are these people like when they go home? Hey, honey, how was your day? Shut up! I'm gonna tell you how my day was. I had to be overly nice to every single person I came in contact with. I used to work for Chick-fil-A. I couldn't be that nice all day. I love Chick-fil-A's training program, though. It's so awesome. It's emotional marketing. They tell you when someone approaches the counter, compliment them, say something nice about them. If you're a lady working at Chick-fil-A and a lady approaches you, there's a million things you can compliment her on. If you're a guy and a guy's approaching you, nothing sounds good. Yeah, I mean, you know what I'm talking about, right? I mean, you're sitting there and you're like, a woman approaches a woman, she's like, that's a beautiful outfit. Are you on a diet? Did you just get your hair done? That jewelry, did you make that yourself? Guy approaches a guy, do you work out? What's your problem? I love Chick-fil-A. Chick-fil-A is where I did my bartender training. There is actually a button on the Chick-fil-A cash register for variations of sweet tea. I've never seen anything like it in my life. I go to Chick-fil-A, I'm working there, and people come up and they're like, I want a half and half. And I'd hand them a creamer. They're like, no, not a creamer. I want half sweet tea, half unsweet tea. Next person comes up, I want an Arnold Palmer. I'm like, what's an Arnold Palmer? It's half lemonade, half sweet tea. Arnold Palmer is half sweet tea, half lemonade? What is diet lemonade and unsweet tea, a Tiger Woods? People come in, they're like, yo, I want the triple threat. I'm like, what's a triple threat? I want lemonade, high C, and Sprite. I mean, I love Chick-fil-A, but the only time I want to eat there is after church on Sunday. You ever go through a Chick-fil-A on a Sunday and there's 6 cars in the drive-thru? I'm thinking they'll be right with you tomorrow morning. So I'm a middle child. A lot of comedians, middle children. I had a tough childhood. I was back on the back of my sister's bike when I was a kid and I was barefoot. And I swung my foot into the spokes and my big toe popped off of my foot. And so I did what every person in this room would have done. I ran home. I mean, I had to run at an angle, but I got there. And I walked through the door and my mom freaks out. Instead of calling 911, she called the tow truck. Yes, Miss Daddy, get off his toe, please, hurry up. I mean, my brother was mean to me. He would walk around with a bag of Fritos. Hey, man, you want one? My grandmother became obsessed with the fact that I cut off my big toes. Hey, David, cut off the big toe, cut off the big toe. Following Christmas, I got a pair of flip-flops. Now, do you know how the flip-flop works? You have to have a big toe to hold it on. That's how it got its name. One would flip up, then one would flop off. And you may have seen a recreational vehicle with a sign, with a car behind it that says car in tow. Yet we had a car and then a sign in our back of our window said tow in car. I thought it'd be neat to write a song about my toe. Instead of 5 for fighting, maybe 4.5 for fighting. Yeah, maybe a song that goes like this. I can't stand to ride. I might swing my feet. And I'm just trying to find my big toe on the street. It's more than a thumb, I hope it's not in the drain. Oh, it cut the nerves, but I'm not in pain. At least I still have my pinky. I love all these music shows, the talent shows. I would love to be on the shows. They always want you to sing #1 song. Now that song from 5 for Fighting is a #1 song. They always want #1 songs. Number songs are awesome, #1 songs. Actually, there was a song in 1988. It was one of the longest reigning #1 songs on the pop charts from a lady named Tracy Chapman. Now, Tracy Chapman, the faster she sang, the more she sounded like a sheep. Now you got a fast car. Now I gotta take it to any place. We gotta make a decision. Leave tomorrow, live and die this way. So remember when you're driving in your car with speed to fast like I'm drunken. Got a feeling that I'd be someone mad. Got a feeling that I'd be someone mad. Be someone mad. Be someone mad. America, the land of opportunity. America's the only place where I actually found a guy who wanted to be a rapper, but suffered from asthma. And I thought, you know what? Who says you can't be a rapper? In fact, he released his first song. He calls himself the Asthma Rapper, also known as the Primatine Kid. new song out that goes just like this. Guys, thanks a lot. I'm David Ferrell. Thank you.